You think you are eating healthy, but some of the foods on your plate every day are quietly working against your body. They look harmless. Some are even labeled as healthy, yet behind the scenes, they are pushing your insulin higher and higher, slowly changing how your body reacts to food. This is where the real problem begins. Insulin resistance does not arrive with a warning. It builds silently, meal after meal, day after day. And by the time most people realize it, the damage is already deep. These foods spike insulin again and again. Your body starts to lose control. Fat storage increases. Energy drops. Cravings become stronger. You feel hungry even after eating. Many people blame calories or lack of exercise, but the real issue often stays hidden. It is the constant insulin spikes caused by everyday foods that seem completely normal. This is the part that most people never hear about. It is rarely explained clearly, and that is exactly why it keeps getting worse. In this video, you are going to discover 9 common foods that quietly trigger insulin resistance. Some of them are sitting in your kitchen right now, some are part of your daily routine, and a few might shock you because they are often promoted as healthy choices. You will learn why these foods affect your body the way they do, how they disrupt your metabolism, and why avoiding them can completely change how your body feels and functions. There is a deeper layer to this that most people overlook. It is not only about sugar, it is about how fast certain foods break down in your body, how they affect your hormones, and how they keep you stuck in a cycle of cravings and low energy. Once you understand this, everything starts to make sense. The fatigue, the stubborn weight, the constant hunger, it all connects back to insulin. Stay with this video until the end because each food on this list reveals a new piece of the puzzle. Missing even one can keep you stuck without realizing why. By the end, you will see your daily meals in a completely different way, and you will know exactly what changes can protect your health long term. Welcome to our channel where we share simple health tips that actually work. If you want to take control of your health and understand what your body truly needs, make sure to subscribe and join us for more videos like this. The scary part begins here. Some of the foods causing this problem are the same ones people trust every single day. They sit on store shelves with labels that promise health, energy, and balance. They appear in diet plans, breakfast routines, and even hospital menus. Everything about them feels safe, familiar, and even recommended. Yet beneath that clean image, a very different effect is taking place inside the body. Insulin levels rise quietly, again and again, without any obvious warning signs. This is where confusion grows. Many people follow advice they believe is correct. They choose low-fat options, packaged health snacks, and popular breakfast items, thinking they are making the right decision. The results feel frustrating. Energy crashes, hunger returns quickly, and weight becomes harder to control. It starts to feel like the body is working against them even though the effort is there. Clear explanations around this topic are rare. The focus often stays on calories or general nutrition, while insulin response stays in the background. That missing piece changes everything. Today, that hidden layer starts to come into focus, and the truth behind these everyday foods becomes much harder to ignore. Insulin resistance develops in a slow and quiet way, without sudden changes that are easy to notice. It begins with small, repeated spikes in insulin that happen throughout the day. Every meal adds to it, every snack pushes it a little further. At first, the body handles it without any clear signs, keeping blood sugar under control by releasing more insulin. Over time, this constant demand starts to wear down the system. The cells begin to respond less, and the body compensates by producing even more insulin to achieve the same effect. As insulin levels stay elevated for longer periods, the internal balance starts to shift. The body moves into a state where storing fat becomes easier, even when food intake does not seem excessive. Energy levels become unstable, rising briefly after eating and then dropping soon after. This leads to a cycle where the body asks for more food even when it has already received enough fuel. Cravings begin to increase, especially for foods that digest quickly and provide a rapid source of energy. Hunger feels stronger and more frequent, creating a pattern that repeats throughout the day reinforcing the same internal response again and again. And the worst part begins to reveal itself in everyday choices that seem completely normal. These are foods people rely on without a second thought, foods that show up in daily routines, quick meals, and even so called healthy diets. They blend in so easily that their impact goes unnoticed, yet they continue to push insulin higher with every bite. This is where the pattern becomes difficult to break, because the same foods are repeated again and again, creating a cycle that feels almost automatic. These 9 foods are making it worse every single day. They do not stand out as harmful at first glance. Some are marketed as smart options, others are simply convenient and widely available. Together, they form a routine that keeps insulin levels elevated far longer than the body can handle comfortably. The effect builds quietly, reinforcing the same internal signals that lead to fatigue, hunger, and fat storage. This is where attention shifts from general habits to specific triggers. Each of these foods carries its own impact, and understanding them one by one starts to reveal a much clearer picture. The first one on this list is often overlooked, yet it plays a powerful role in driving this entire process forward. Sugary drinks are one of the fastest ways to push insulin to extreme levels without realizing it. Soda, packaged juices, and energy drinks are everywhere, and they are often consumed without much thought. They go down quickly, feel refreshing, and seem harmless in small amounts. The problem starts with how the body processes them. Liquid sugar enters the bloodstream almost immediately, far quicker than solid food. There is no fiber to slow things down, no barrier to control the speed. The body reacts instantly, releasing a large amount of insulin to handle the sudden surge. This rapid spike creates a sharp rise in energy, followed by an equally sharp drop. The crash that follows leaves the body asking for more fuel, often in the form of more sugar. This pattern can repeat multiple times in a single day, especially for those who rely on these drinks regularly. Over time, the system becomes overwhelmed and insulin stays elevated far longer than it should. What makes this even more concerning is how easy it is to overlook. A single drink may feel insignificant, yet it carries a powerful effect that can quietly interfere with progress and keep the cycle going. Breakfast cereals often carry a healthy image with bright packaging and claims of vitamins, whole grains, and energy to start the day. They seem like a simple and smart choice, especially in the morning when time feels limited. Beneath that surface, many of these cereals are heavily processed and packed with added sugar and refined grains. Once eaten, they break down quickly in the body, turning into glucose at a fast rate. This sudden rise in blood sugar triggers an immediate insulin response, pushing levels higher early in the day. Starting the morning this way creates a pattern that continues for hours. Energy rises quickly, then drops just as fast, leaving a sense of fatigue not long after finishing the meal. Hunger returns sooner than expected, even though enough food was consumed. This leads to more snacking, often on similar quick and processed options that repeat the same cycle. The effect does not stay limited to breakfast. It begins to shape the body's signals for the rest of the day, making cravings feel stronger and more frequent. The choices that follow become influenced by that early spike, keeping the cycle active and difficult to break. White bread is one of the most common foods in daily meals, yet its effect on the body is often overlooked. It goes through heavy processing where most of the natural fiber and nutrients are removed, leaving behind a refined product that digests very quickly. Once consumed, it breaks down into glucose at a rapid pace, causing blood sugar levels to rise faster than expected. Without fiber to slow this process, the body reacts almost immediately by releasing insulin to manage the surge. This quick digestion creates a sharp spike followed by a noticeable drop in energy. The feeling of fullness does not last long, and hunger starts to return sooner than it should. This leads to repeated eating, often within a short time, which keeps insulin levels elevated throughout the day. The pattern becomes easy to miss because white bread is seen as a normal part of meals, whether in sandwiches, toast, or side servings. Over time, this repeated cycle reinforces the same response inside the body. The speed at which it converts into sugar makes its impact stronger than it appears, acting in a way that closely resembles consuming pure sugar itself. Flavored yogurt carries a strong reputation as a healthy choice. Often associated with fitness, digestion, and balanced eating, it is commonly picked as a quick snack or a light meal, especially by those trying to improve their diet. The texture feels clean, the taste is pleasant, and the packaging often highlights natural ingredients. Beneath that image, many flavored options contain a surprising amount of added sugar blended in to enhance taste and make it more appealing. Once consumed, this hidden sugar behaves like any other refined source, entering the bloodstream quickly and triggering an insulin response. The body reacts to it in the same way it would react to sweets, even though the food itself feels more nutritious. This creates a disconnect between perception and reality, where something believed to support health ends up contributing to the same cycle of spikes and drops. The sweetness can be subtle, making it easy to consume regularly without noticing the impact. Over time, these small amounts add up, especially when combined with other sources throughout the day. In some cases, the total sugar content rivals that of traditional desserts, making its effect far more significant than expected. Fried foods are deeply rooted in everyday eating habits, often chosen for their taste, texture, and convenience. They appear in snacks, street food, and full meals, making them a regular part of many routines. The cooking process usually involves high temperatures and refined oils, which change the structure of the fats and create compounds that the body struggles to handle efficiently. These unhealthy fats begin to interfere with how cells respond to insulin, gradually reducing sensitivity over time. As this pattern continues, the body requires more insulin to manage the same amount of glucose, placing extra pressure on the system. The effect builds slowly, without immediate signs, making it easy to overlook. Alongside this, fried foods contribute to internal stress by increasing inflammation. This creates an environment where normal metabolic functions become harder to maintain, and the body shifts further away from balance. The combination of altered fats and repeated exposure strengthens this response, especially when these foods are consumed frequently. What starts as an occasional choice can turn into a regular habit, reinforcing the same internal changes that make insulin less effective and energy levels harder to stabilize. Processed snacks are easy to reach for and even easier to overconsume. Chips, biscuits, and crackers are designed to be convenient, tasty, and satisfying in the moment. They often come in small portions that feel harmless, yet their ingredients tell a different story. These foods are typically made with refined carbohydrates that break down quickly in the body, combined with low quality oils that add another layer of stress to the system. Together, they create a rapid rise in blood sugar, followed by a strong insulin response. The texture and flavor make them highly addictive, encouraging repeated snacking throughout the day. Each time they are consumed, the same cycle repeats, pushing insulin levels higher and keeping them elevated for longer periods. Hunger signals become harder to understand as the body moves between short bursts of energy and sudden drops that lead to more cravings. This combination of fast digesting carbs and unhealthy fats forms a pattern that is difficult to break. It blends speed, taste, and convenience in a way that quietly drives the body toward imbalance, reinforcing the same internal response again and again. Coffee on its own can fit into a balanced routine, and many people rely on it to start their day or stay focused. The situation changes once sugar, flavored syrups, and sweetened creamers are added. What begins as a simple drink quickly turns into a source of hidden sugar that is easy to underestimate. Each added ingredient increases the total load, and the body processes it much faster than expected, especially in liquid form. As this mixture enters the bloodstream, it creates a rapid rise in blood sugar, leading to a strong insulin response. The effect can feel subtle at first, masked by the temporary boost in alertness that coffee provides. Over time, the pattern becomes clearer as energy levels begin to fluctuate more noticeably. The initial lift is followed by a drop that leaves the body searching for another boost, often leading to repeated consumption throughout the day. This routine can become automatic, with little attention given to how much sugar is actually being consumed. The combination of caffeine and sweetness keeps the cycle going, reinforcing the same internal response and quietly adding to the overall impact on insulin levels. Fruit juices often carry a healthy image, especially when labeled as 100% natural or freshly squeezed. They seem like a clean source of vitamins and a quick way to support daily nutrition. The difference appears in how the body handles them compared to whole fruit. Once the fruit is turned into juice, most of the fiber is removed. This changes the entire effect, allowing the natural sugars to enter the bloodstream much faster than expected. Without fiber to slow digestion, the sugar from the juice creates a rapid rise in blood sugar levels. The body responds quickly by releasing insulin to manage the spike, leading to the same pattern seen with other fast acting sources. The sweetness can make it easy to drink large amounts in a short time, increasing the total sugar intake without creating a strong sense of fullness. This process happens quietly, often without being noticed because the source feels natural and safe. The liquid form makes it even easier to consume regularly, especially during meals or as a quick refreshment. The contrast becomes clearer when compared to whole fruit, where fiber helps regulate the release of sugar and creates a more balanced response inside the body. Low-fat diet foods often appear as a smart and controlled choice, especially for those trying to manage weight or improve health. The labels highlight reduced fat, lighter options, and guilt-free eating, which makes them easy to trust. The real change happens in what replaces that removed fat. To maintain taste and texture, manufacturers often add sugar and refined ingredients, creating a product that feels healthy but behaves very differently inside the body. As these foods are consumed, the added sugars begin to act quickly, raising blood sugar levels and triggering an insulin response. The absence of fat also means less satiety, so the feeling of fullness does not last long. This leads to eating again sooner than expected, repeating the same pattern throughout the day. The body responds to each spike in a similar way, gradually adapting to higher insulin levels. This shift is subtle and easy to miss because the focus stays on the word low fat. Over time, the combination of reduced satiety and increased sugar creates a cycle that feels difficult to control, reinforcing the same internal signals with each serving. A clear pattern starts to appear when these foods are placed side by side. Many of them come in packages, ready to eat, quick to prepare, and easy to fit into a busy routine. They are designed for speed and convenience, making daily choices feel effortless. This convenience often hides how much processing has taken place before they reach the plate. Ingredients are refined, textures are altered, and flavors are adjusted to make them more appealing and longer lasting. The speed at which these foods are digested plays a major role in how the body responds. They break down quickly, leading to rapid changes in blood sugar and repeated insulin spikes throughout the day. This creates a rhythm that feels normal on the surface, yet it slowly shifts the body away from balance. Energy becomes less stable, hunger becomes less predictable, and the cycle continues without much awareness. Over time, the long-term impact begins to take shape beneath these daily habits. The convenience remains visible while the internal effects stay hidden, building gradually with each repeated choice. A pattern begins to connect these daily experiences in a way that feels more clear. Feeling tired after meals, dealing with constant hunger, or noticing weight increasing more easily can start to seem less random. These signals often appear together, repeating throughout the day in a way that feels difficult to control. Energy rises briefly and then drops, hunger returns sooner than expected, and cravings begin to guide the next choice. It creates a loop that continues without an obvious cause on the surface. The focus is often placed on calories alone, leading to adjustments in portion sizes or meal frequency. Despite these efforts, the same issues can continue, creating frustration and confusion. The missing link begins to show itself in how the body is responding internally, especially through repeated insulin spikes that shape these outcomes over time. This response influences how energy is used, how hunger signals are triggered, and how easily the body stores fat. As this understanding becomes clearer, the connection between daily food choices and these recurring feelings starts to stand out more revealing a deeper layer behind what seems like simple habits. Now it comes down to your daily choices and the patterns that shape your health over time. These foods may seem small on their own, but together they create an effect that builds quietly and consistently. Becoming aware of them is the first step toward taking back control and breaking the cycle that keeps insulin levels elevated. Which of these foods are you still eating in your daily routine? Share your answer in the comments below. Your response might help someone else see what they have been missing. If you found this video helpful, take a moment to like this video and support the channel. And for more simple health tips that actually work, make sure you subscribe and stay connected with us. In the next video, you will discover what to eat to help reverse insulin resistance and support your body in a more balanced way. You will see simple changes that can make a real difference over time. Make sure you do not miss it.